This piece of paper is what we call RAM, and it's really important for your phone. No, seriously, that's RAM. No, seriously, what is RAM? Well, RAM is defined as random access memory, and trust me, I know I just confused you a lot more by defining that, but don't worry, we are going to learn about that, and I'm going to break it down for you in the easiest way for you to be able to understand it properly. So let's get into it. Okay, now I want you to picture this table as your RAM, right? Let's say this is about 4 gigs of RAM. Okay, let's say this is about 4 gigs of RAM. Now, whenever you open an app, and an app is represented by books in this video, okay? So now let's say you open your first app. That's your first app, right? And you open the next app without closing the first app that you actually used. See how the space is actually getting less and less for more apps to actually be used. Okay, now let's keep going. You open now the third app. This is the third app, and then you open the fourth app. Now you cannot open more apps because there's no space for more apps to be on your RAM. Okay, less books to be on this table. Now let's say you want to open another app. Okay, now keep in mind each of these apps, they are open. If you go back to this app, right, you will find it in the state that you left it in. It will make it much easier and faster for you to open this app in the state that you left it in if you have more RAM. So now let's say you want to open another app. This is what's going to happen. Now you may have more apps open, but the first app that you opened is now gone. You are going to have to restart that app. It's actually going to restart itself when you open it. Okay, and that's the same thing that's going to keep happening each and every time you open an app on your small amount of RAM. That's what's going to happen each time you open an app. The first app is now gone. You're just gonna use these, and whenever your RAM is full like this, you might notice that your phone is like, it just lags, you can't use it properly. Now this is 4 gigs of RAM. Okay, so let's go and make an example of what more RAM looks like. Now that we're here, I'm going to represent let's say 6 or 8. Let's say this is 8 gigs of RAM. Okay, it's a bigger table. 6 gigs of RAM, bigger table. 4 gigs of RAM, smaller table, which was represented on my last card. Okay, now let's go. Now you open YouTube, right? This is your YouTube. You open your Chrome app. This is Chrome. You open Twitter. This is it. You open WhatsApp. There's your WhatsApp. Now remember, if your phone had 4 gigs of RAM, your phone would actually start lagging by now. Okay, it starts lagging and it becomes slow. But on this phone, because there's much more space for more apps to be used, it's still good, still working perfectly. Okay, now you open another app, and another one. Okay, another app, another app. Now you have way more apps that you can use at the same time. Remember, you did not close this app. You did not close. So all of these apps were left in this state, right? And you're going to find them in the same state that you left them in. And that's how RAM actually helps you. That's how it makes your phone faster in that way, right? Because now you can access this app faster. This one, all of these apps, you can access them much faster because now you have more RAM. Okay, hopefully now you understand what RAM is and how it helps you. Now that you know what RAM is, I'm sure you're asking yourself, does having more RAM mean that your phone is actually faster and having less makes your phone slower? Well, the answer to that is no, not necessarily. Because you see, RAM allows you to save the progress you've made from apps. Okay, so if you leave a certain app at a certain point and use another app, then you're going to find that very same app in the state or in that certain moment that you left it in. Okay, and that means you're going to open that app much faster than if you had to start over, open the app from the beginning, the loading screens and everything. It's much faster than that. It does not mean that you can do everything faster. No, it only means now you can open your apps much faster without your phone beginning to lag. And that is what RAM does. Some people actually make the mistake of thinking that RAM and storage are the same thing. Storage as in SSD. But no, you see, that's not how it is. RAM only saves the memory from apps. Okay, memory from apps. That's what RAM does. It saves that, and now you can access that easier. And storage, well, it saves everything: pictures, music, videos, everything and anything, but it does not operate like RAM. Okay, and usually you might see that most phones have 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, even 16 gigs of RAM. Okay, and that means they can store more app memory. Okay, more, and you can access apps much faster than most other phones. And the better the device, flagships nowadays have about 16 gigs of RAM. And if you take a budget phone, it has about 4 or 6 gigs of RAM at most. And that means you can access apps much faster on the 16 gigs of RAM, which is your flagship phone, much faster than you can do it on the 4 gigs, 6 gigs of RAM. And that does not mean that 6 gigs of RAM is less. That's actually a lot of RAM, so always know that. And the RAM on the phone, right, RAM on phones operates the same way as RAM on computers, just that you can actually see and hold the RAM of a computer, which I'm pretty sure you have seen. But you cannot do the same with your phone unless you don't want your phone anymore and just want to break it, or you're fixing it. So now that hopefully you have learned what RAM is, please subscribe to my channel. That will be highly appreciated if you do that. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next video where I'll be talking about, I don't know, CPUs or something. I'll see. And for these lessons, I've figured that it will be best if I just upload them daily. But I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but I'll try. to upload daily, at least until I can actually get to the reviews, because I am so impatient when it comes to that. I just want to review something really quick, and I'm sure that's what you guys want to see as well. But don't worry, we're gonna get there. Um, anyways, thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned to watch more, and please subscribe, and I'll always be here for you. If you have anything you want to ask away in the comments. I'll be there to answer your questions. Bye.